When he's not seeing patients and prescribing pills, Dr. Phil Davis is firing a laser at Mars.
Well, the former RAF medic says that in doing so, he actually owns the planet. Well, Phil joins us now from his home in Surrey. Good morning to you. It's really great to speak to you today. So hold on a second. You claim to own the planet Mars. How so?
Well, good morning, Phil and Holly. Yes, I'm saying that we've earned the right to say we're in actual possession of Mars, and therefore we're seeking a fair trial to hear whether we should deserve ownership of Mars. I think we've done enough.
So this is down to an act that was ratified in 1967. So, and this is essentially to prevent weapons of mass destruction being put in space. Explain this 1967 agreement.
Good research, Phil. Yes. So the whole purpose of what we're doing didn't start off in a let's grab Mars. We became aware when I was working in aerospace medicine of the worrying state of the Outer Space Treaty. This amazing treaty was smashed out in 1967, the Summer of Love, and it was incredible. The Americans and the Russians got together. They were so worried about the other side putting nuclear weapons in space that they managed to agree a treaty that involved all nations at the UN. Now, this amazing treaty stopped nuclear weaponization of space and also stopped land grabbing by all the big nations. The problem is, it is now in decay. It is being marginalized, kicked aside, skipped over, because it's viewed as being bad for business. It's 53 years old, and it doesn't hold anything of comfort for American miners who want to go and mine asteroids. So the Americans have created their own US Space Act, and now they've come out with the Artemis Accords, which the British have signed up to, which allows Britain and America and other nations, a few other nations, to go to, say, the moon, set down installations, not claim it, but have massive safe areas around it, exclusion zones that nobody else can come into, and they can use that for mining purposes. Now, actually, that had to happen. The Americans have been waiting for years for an update to the space treaty, and nothing's happened.
So how...
But the trouble...
With that being the case, then, two questions here. How do you prevent this from happening by firing a laser from your back garden to Mars? And why aren't you firing it at the moon?
So this is a big shot, isn't it? So yeah, how can we, as people in Britain, influence the United Nations Committee, it's called COPIUS, to actually update this Outer Space Treaty? Because without it, we've got space forces now. Now, admittedly, they'll be done responsibly. The US and Britain will be largely using surveillance equipment up there to find out what's going up there. I think there's some danger that even the Russians have started using space-based missile testing. But all of us do not want nuclear weapons sitting 350 kilometers above our heads. And if this Outer Space Treaty is the only law that stops that, and it's now in decline and being ignored, we're in trouble. So we wanted to spike...
It is actually really scary when you say it like that. But back to what Phil just said, why, therefore, fire a laser at Mars from your back garden?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. What can we do to try and influence that committee? And we thought long and hard, and I thought, for 10 years now we've been doing this, we thought, if we can mount a proper claim, like really staff it up legally, a claim to celestial land, because it can be done, then we could spike that committee. It's the same committee at the UN that would deal with a claim to Mars that actually has to update the space treaty and could, in theory, update the Outer Space Treaty to keep it relevant and current and incorporate provisions for space mining. So there is a law that tells you how to claim new land generally on Earth. There isn't, as yet, a For Dummies book on how to claim a planet, although I think I'm quite well placed to write one now. But effectively, Mars is barren land. And if you're going to claim new land on Earth, international law, which does apply to space, tells you that for barren land, you don't have to go there and settle. You don't have to demonstrate trading. You literally just have to do a few administrative things, show intent to occupy, and one thing, this is the challenge, you've got to do some early things to kind of slightly enhance and make ready and control the land for future use.
But what? I'm on the edge of my seat. How have you claimed a bit of Mars?
Yeah, so we're sitting here on Earth with no rockets to take us to Mars. So a laser does have an effect on Mars. If we use a very strong laser, it liberates carbon dioxide molecules on the surface of the planet into the atmosphere. It is small stuff. It is scientifically and physically trivial, but it's not legally trivial because that fits in with international law. We're doing something
How safe is
very
that laser?
small.
I mean, I'm looking at that laser now. What if an aircraft flew across
Or a satellite.
Or a satellite
So
or something?
that's-
Isn't that incredibly dangerous?
So yeah, astronomers do use lasers, but we've got to be hugely responsible. We've got standard operating procedures when we deploy lasers of that strength in British skies. So what do? We make sure that we only do it when the closest airport is closed. That's Farnborough. We make sure that we've got all the timetable for satellites. We've got flight radar, so we make sure there's no aircraft coming close. We look at the sky as well. Anything that moves, laser goes off. So we have to be very responsible deploying massively powerful lasers late at night. But the thing is, they do have a very small effect on the planet, and that is in keeping with international law for claiming barren land.
So I understand that. So you're changing it. You could change the atmosphere. You could have an influence on the planet. So therefore, I mean, it sounds like a land grab to me, because if you get your 22 spare kilometers that you actually get there, then that in a way, you've got a part of Mars that eventually your ancestors could put weapons on. So it sort of pulls the rug out from underneath the argument.
No, do you know, Phil? I mean, you've got to drill through like that. Well, our plan and our statement of intent is that, I mean, we've not got 151,000 people on board, and we want to get 1 million. But essentially, we've all signed up that the land, if we were in theory successful, the land would be held open as common land for all, and the title deeds would go to the UN to hold as trustee. We would just be the beneficiaries.
Well, I love it. I mean, I think it is an amazing thing to be doing. And now, when we drive past and we see that massive, great blue light,
we know what it is.
Well, thank you. Though, Phil?
Pardon?
It's been to the UK courts. We're now spilling out of the UK courts with credibility, and it's been filed at the UN.
Yeah, no, I mean, good luck to you. As you say, you've got 151,000
Well, we
followers.
want people to join us.
Yeah.
If you come to mars.sail and join us, or even for free, you can just follow us at Join the Martians at Twitter, and you get a free claim. We want people.
It's a good
We've got people from every country on board,
so
and that is incredible.
We have to move on, but it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Great to talk to you.
Great to see you guys.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Right, still to come.